global fashion and apparel industry is for the most part filled with mystery and glamour. It is a market that is valued at $3 trillion. That is 3,000 billion, and accounts for 2% of the world's gross domestic product. We all want the best deals, and prices have taken a nosedive due to fast fashion. Rumors have been coined by the New York Times in 1990 to describe Zara's mission to take only 15 days for a garment to go from a designer's brain to being sold on the racks. Peter Lefferin is the founder of a foundation called MODA.
With my foundation MODA, we are preaching, and maybe sometimes advocates, and maybe sometimes we kick against the pricks to get what we want it to be, to make people aware of the fact that we need to change. The clothing you wear is closer to you than your closest relationship is, because it's always on your skin. Pollution through the fashion industry, I think, is a largely underestimated problem. We create industries that produce around 85 billion clothing items each year. Of these 85 billion clothing items, we throw away 65 billion items each year. 65 billion items. That's an absurd number. They end up in landfills or they will be burned. Both very polluting for this planet, extremely polluting.
Over the past few decades, the industry has faced criticism for moving manufacturing overseas, paying low wages, and creating commercial waste. Steps have been made to clean up the industry. Adidas, H&M, and G-Star are one of many brands that have recently launched eco-friendly campaigns. Why are big brands getting involved, and what impact are these initiatives making globally? Marieke Escoot is a sustainable lifestyle and fashion expert.
There's a lot of initiatives out there that bigger brands are undertaking to try and change the way they produce. We also shouldn't expect them to be able to change overnight. It's a huge production. I've even estimated at some point that it's around 170 people in the whole supply chain, from growing the fabric to actually selling it and owning it.
Which brand is truly green? I think that's a difficult one when talking about bigger brands, because the bigger brands are not there yet.
I really wish there was more transparency in the whole fashion industry, especially in the production side. So for instance, when you look at H&M's Close the Loop, which is very interesting because they take clothes and then try and make new fabrics and new clothes out of them. For me, it's not so clear, for instance, what percentage is actually used and in how many new clothes that's actually used.
The messages sent out to consumers by big brands are creating some confusion. In Amsterdam, we asked shoppers about recycling and apparel waste.
At H&M, I've heard that you can give some of your old clothes and you have a discount? Or something like that.
People tend to hear like recycling and stuff and like, okay, I'm gonna do that. But it's a very deep thought. Yeah, I've never thought of it, so I don't know.
So with this lack of awareness, up to 95% of the textiles landfilled each year could be recycled. Roughly 1% of clothing is actually recycled by brands.
I think, responsibility and that in relationship with consumers, the people, is a very difficult one. So I think it starts with the industry, but it also starts with education, that we need to educate educators.
What for me would be the best and actually the most logical future for fashion is that we can only buy clothes that are made under good working conditions, that are not harmful for the environment and for animals and for everything around us, and that we would wear with pride.
A good example from a granddad that invested in one coat for his complete life. It was a woolen coat, it was a design made to last. It was less consumerism, it was quality. And he kept that thing for a lifetime, and then my dad got it and then I got it. I don't want to sound old-fashioned because I think this is the new fashion. We need to get back to that.
only time will tell what the future holds for the fashion industry. In the meantime, we can take steps to buy not what we want, but what we need responsibly, and choose clothing that lasts.